The US and Israel's war on Iran has reached its 13th day. Donald Trump has claimed that there is nothing left to attack in Iran, while Iran has vowed to step away from responding to American and Israeli strikes and start carrying out relentless attacks. Well, we earlier caught up with former National Security Advisor to Donald Trump, Ambassador John Bolton, who gave us a better perspective of US and Trump's current stand on the war. Listen in to what he had to say.
The initial thing they said was 4 to 5 weeks at a minimum. I think that's clear. I think it's going to need to be more than that. They seem to be very surprised that oil prices rose after the war began because of the fear that the Strait of Hormuz would close. I'm surprised that they're surprised. But it does show part of that lack of planning and forethought that could have allowed better preparation, quicker response, quicker remedy to the issue. I don't think Trump really wants to put boots on the ground. That's another thing he said he wasn't going to do. And I don't think it's necessary. I think done correctly, the effect of these attacks on the Revolutionary Guard, the Quds Force, the besieging militia, the ballistic missile and nuclear programs, not only destroying those capabilities, which is a positive thing in and of itself, but they are shattering regime confidence that it can defend itself. In fact, they're showing just how vulnerable the regime is. And that should sow even more dissent and disagreement within the regime, which has had considerable portions of its leadership eliminated by the Israeli-US strikes. And it's that kind of instability that the opposition should be exploiting, going to officers in the regular army, not the Revolutionary Guard, but the regular army, and finding some who would come over to the opposition side, who don't want to go down with the sinking ship. That's the way you claw the opposition. The opposition claws its way into the top levels of the regime, encourages disagreement and dissent, and therefore even more instability that permits the regime to collapse. That's what we should be trying to do. Well, I think there's certainly some attacks, but I think Israel and the government of Lebanon, for the first time in a long time, are cooperating together against Hezbollah. And I think if you looked at the amount of tonnage of bombs being dropped on Iran, comparing to the tonnage of bombs being dropped on Israel, U.S. bases, the Gulf Arab countries, overwhelmingly on Iran. They're the ones who are suffering the damage. I think the Iranians made a critical mistake in attacking the Gulf Arab countries, the oil-producing monarchies. I think that's driven those states closer to the U.S. and Israel. And I think that certainly Israel was prepared. That's why they're getting ready to go in perhaps to southern Lebanon sometime soon to do more damage to Hezbollah, which, since the Hamas attack of October 7, 2023, Iran's surrogate terrorist groups have been decimated, certainly Hamas and Hezbollah. There's more to do, but the balance of power really had changed in the Middle East, really changed even before the U.S.-Israel attack began.